everyone, I'm Dr. Devyani and you're watching Epistasis. So आज हम लोग नीट के प्रीवियस ईयर्स क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करने वाले हैं जो चैप्टर ब्रीदिंग एंड एक्सचेंज ऑफ गैसेस चैप्टर से आया है. सो दिस चैप्टर इज इन द सिलेबस ऑफ CBSE क्लास 11 बायोलॉजी. तो हम लोग इस चैप्टर का क्विक रिवीजन कर चुके हैं. जो पार्ट 1, पार्ट 2, पार्ट 3 वीडियोज मैंने इसके डाले हैं. सो ये चैप्टर को आप लोग अच्छे से NCERT बुक से पढ़ लें एंड उसके बाद आप क्विक रिवीजन वाले वीडियोस को फॉलो करें. एंड आज हम इस वीडियो में नीट में जो भी क्वेश्चंस आए हैं पिछले 32 इयर्स में उसको सॉल्व करेंगे. ओके, सो लेट्स गेट इनटू द वीडियो. फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज टाइडल वॉल्यूम एंड एक्सपीरिटरी रिजर्व वॉल्यूम ऑफ एन एथलीट इज 500 ml and 1000 ml respectively. What will be his एक्सपीरिटरी कैपेसिटी? सो एक्सपीरिटरी कैपेसिटी हमेशा क्या होता है? टाइडल वॉल्यूम प्लस एक्सपीरिटरी रिजर्व वॉल्यूम होता है. दैट मीन्स 1000 ml प्लस 500 ml, सो इट विल बी 1500 ml, राइट? सो यहाँ पे जो लास्ट क्वेश्चन है कि इफ द रेसिडुअल वॉल्यूम इज 1200 ml, सो ये जस्ट आपको कंफ्यूज करने के लिए दिया गया है. इसके ऊपर एक्सपीरिटरी कैपेसिटी का कोई लिंक नहीं है. सो द राइट ऑप्शन विल बी बी. Now next question is due to increasing airborne allergen and pollutant, many people in urban areas are suffering from respiratory disorder that cause wheezing due to reduction in the secretion of surfactant by pneumocytes. No. Benign growth on mucous lining of nasal cavity, ये भी गलत है. Inflammation of bronchi and bronchioles, so ये mainly asthma में होता है जिसमें क्या होता है कि कोई भी पोल्यूटेंट्स या फिर एलर्जन हमारे अंदर आते हैं तो उसका इन्फ्लेमेशन हो जाता है, इनका वॉल्यूम कम हो जाती है ब्रोंकाई एंड ब्रोंकियोल्स का. सो द राइट ऑप्शन विल बी 2C, नॉट प्रोलिफरेशन ऑफ फाइब्रस टिश्यू एंड डैमेज ऑफ द एल्वियोलर वॉल्स, राइट? सो ये फाइब्रस टिश्यू फॉर्म होता है ऑक्यूपेशनल हैजर्ड जहां पे इंडस्ट्रीज में होता है वहां पे. सो डोंट कंफ्यूज बिटवीन इट विल बी राइट ऑप्शन विल बी C. Next is select the correct statement. Expiration occurs due to external intercostal muscles. Intrapulmonary pressure is lower than atmospheric pressure during inspiration. Inspiration occurs when atmospheric pressure is less than intrapulmonary pressure, or expiration is initiated due to contraction of diaphragm. Okay, so इसमें से correct statement बस यही है, intrapulmonary pressure is lower than the atmospheric pressure during inspiration. तभी बाहर का जो atmospheric air है वो अंदर जाएगा, right? Next is which of the following options correctly represent the lung condition in asthma and emphysema respectively. Okay, inflammation of bronchioles, decreased respiratory surface, so that will be the correct answer. ये आपके NCERT बुक में बहुत अच्छे से दिया हुआ है. Not increased number of bronchioles, increased respiratory surface, not increased respiratory surface, inflammation of bronchioles, or decreased respiratory surface, inflammation of bronchioles, right? Next is match the items given in column 1 with those in column 2 and select the correct option given below. So first column में है tidal volume. Tidal volume ये टाइडल वॉल्यूम, इंस्पिरेटरी रिजर्व वॉल्यूम, एक्सपीरेटरी रिजर्व वॉल्यूम एंड रेसिडुअल वॉल्यूम, ये सबके जो वॉल्यूम्स हैं ये आपको अच्छे से जानना है. और जो भी आपके कैपेसिटीज और वॉल्यूम्स है ना उसको कैलकुलेट करके एक चार्ट बना लीजिए कि कितना कितना तक होता है. सो द राइट ऑप्शन विल बी बी. दैट मीन्स A विल बी 3. दैट मीन्स टाइडल वॉल्यूम विल बी 500 to 550 ml. Next, inspiratory reserve volume will be 2500 to 3000. Next is expiratory reserve volume will be 1000 to 1100, and residual volume will be 1100 to 1200 ml, right? Next is which of the following is an occupational respiratory disorder? ओके, सो इनमें से बॉटुलिज्म तो नहीं है, ये बैक्टीरियल डिजीज है. एंथ्रासिस भी नहीं है, ये भी वही है. एम्फाइसीमा जो है वो ऑक्यूपेशनल रेस्पिरेटरी डिसऑर्डर नहीं है. द राइट वन इज सिलिकोसिस, जिसमें इनहेलेशन होता है सिलिका का, जिससे हमें ये डिसऑर्डर होता है. सो द नेम ऑफ द डिजीज इज सिलिकोसिस, राइट? Next, lungs are made up of air-filled sacs that the alveoli. They do not collapse even after forceful expiration because of inspiratory reserve volume, tidal volume, एक्सपीरेटरी रिजर्व वॉल्यूम, रेसिड्यूअल वॉल्यूम, क्योंकि हमेशा वहां पे कुछ ना कोई सर्टेन अमाउंट ऑफ एयर रह ही जाता है जितना भी आप फोर्सेबल एक्सपीरेशन करो, राइट. सो राइट ऑप्शन विल बी डी. Next, the partial pressure of oxygen in the alveoli of the lung is equal to in the blood, more than that in the blood. So that's why ब्लड में ये ऑक्सीजन जो है वो डिफ्यूज होगा, राइट, क्योंकि पार्शियल प्रेशर ऑफ ऑक्सीजन इन द एल्वियोलाई ऑफ द लंग इज मोर देन दैट इन द ब्लड, नॉट द अदर वन लेस देन दैट इन द ब्लड और लेस देन दैट ऑफ कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड. Next question is, lungs do not collapse between breaths and some air always remains in the lungs which can never be expelled because there is a negative pressure in the lungs. There is a negative intrapleural pressure pulling at the lung walls. There is a positive intrapleural pressure. Pressure in the lung is higher than that of atmospheric pressure. So right option will be negative intrapleural pressure. दो लेयर होते हैं, प्लूरल जो मेम्ब्रेन होता है इसमें दो लेयर्स हैं, राइट, एंड उसके अंदर एक फ्लूइड भी रहता है. सो ये फ्लूइड एंड ये जो इंट्राप्यूलर प्रेशर जो है वो हमेशा नेगेटिव होता है, सक्शन पंप के जैसा काम करता है. दैट्स वाई ये कभी भी लंग वॉल कोलैप्स नहीं करते. Reduction in pH of blood will decrease the affinity of hemoglobin with oxygen, release the bicarbonate ion by the liver, reduce the rate of heartbeat or reduce the blood supply to the brain. Right option will be decrease the affinity of hemoglobin with oxygen. ये जो चार factors मैं describe किए थे उसमें ही है कि pH of the blood is very important, okay, for making oxyhemoglobin. Next is name the chronic respiratory disorder caused mainly by cigarette smoking. Okay, so the options are respiratory acidosis, respiratory alkalosis, emphysema or asthma. Emphysema is the right answer. Okay, जो सिगरेट स्मोकिंग से हम अक्सर कंफ्यूज हो जाते हैं एजमा के साथ. एजमा मेनली एलर्जन और पोल्यूटेंट से होती है, लेकिन एम्फाइसीमा इज द राइट रेस्पिरेटरी डिसऑर्डर विच कैन कॉज बाय टेकिंग by smoking cigarette, right. Next is asthma may be attributed to inflammation of the trachea, wrong. Accumulation of fluid in the lungs, wrong. Bacterial infection of the lung, wrong. Allergic reaction of the mast cell in the lungs, okay, ये एक allergic reaction है, इसमें histamine बहुत ज़्यादा produce करता है mast cells, right. Name the pulmonary disease in which alveolar surface area involved in gas exchange is drastically reduced due to the damage in the alveolar walls. Pneumonia, asthma, pleurisy or emphysema. So the right option will be emphysema. Next is, when you hold your breath, which of the following gas changes in blood would first lead the urge to breathe? Falling of carbon dioxide concentration, rising carbon dioxide and falling oxygen concentration, falling oxygen concentration or rising of carbon dioxide concentration. Right option will be D, not B. Okay, क्योंकि ऑक्सीजन का कोई भी रोल बहुत ही इनसिग्निफिकेंट है, राइट. सो ये रेगुलेशन ऑफ रेस्पिरेटरी एक्टिविटीज वाला जो पार्ट है वहां पे ये चीज हम बुक में दिया है कि और कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड की कंसंट्रेशन एंड हाइड्रोजन आयन की कंसंट्रेशन ये सारे रेगुलेट कर लेते हैं, लेकिन ऑक्सीजन का इसमें जो भी रोल है बहुत ही इनसिग्निफिकेंट है, राइट. नेक्स्ट नंबर 15, अप्रोक्सीमेटली 70% ऑफ कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड एब्सॉर्ब्ड बाय द ब्लड विल बी ट्रांसपोर्टेड टू द लंग्स as bicarbonate ions. So very easy question, not in the form of dissolved gas molecules or by binding of RBC or as carb amino hemoglobin. 70% will be transported as bicarbonate ion. Next question, the figure shows the diagrammatic view of human respiratory systems with labels A, B, C, D. Select the option which gives correct identification and main function or character. Okay, so this is the figure A, B, C, D. These are four sorry, these are four structure. Okay, for C it is written that alveoli thin walled vascular bag like structure for exchange of gases. So C is the alveoli and it is the correct answer. D लिखा हुआ है lower ends of lungs, lower ends of lungs diaphragm pulls it down during inspiration. Okay, so ये जो है lower end of lungs, actually D is diaphragm, not lower ends, it is just present एक एयर टाइट कैविटी के लिए होता है एंड डी मेनली इज द डायफ्राम. नेक्स्ट, ट्रैकिया लॉन्ग ट्यूब सपोर्टेड बाय कंप्लीट कार्टिलेजिनियस रिंग, इट शुड बी इनकम्प्लीट, सो ये रॉन्ग है. प्लूरल मेम्ब्रेन सराउंड रिब्स ऑन बोथ साइड टू प्रोवाइड कुशन लाइक इफेक्ट, नो इट इज नॉट, इट इज जस्ट रिड्यूस द फ्रिक्शन. ओके, so right option will be A. Next is, which of the following is the correct statement for respiration in humans? Cigarette smoking may lead to inflammation of bronchi. Neurosignal from pneumatic center in pons region of brain can increase the duration of inspiration. Workers in grinding and stone breaking industry may suffer from lung fibrosis. So this is the right answer. About 90% of carbon dioxide is carried by hemoglobin as carbaminohemoglobin. It is wrong. The figure given below shows a small part of human lung where exchange of gases takes place. Select the option which represent the label ABCD correctly identified along with this function. Okay, so this is the figure, very common, very well known figure from book. Okay, C is arterial capillary. C is arterial capillary, passes oxygen to tissue. It is wrong, right? A is alveolar cavity, main site for exchange of respiratory gases. It is right. D is capillary wall. So D is the basement membrane, not capillary wall. Exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide takes place here. Wrong. B is red blood cells, transport of carbon dioxide mainly. So it is again wrong. A large population of oxygen remains unused in the human blood even after its uptake by the body tissue. This oxygen acts as a reserve during muscular exercise or raises the partial carbon dioxide concentration of blood to 75 mmHg. ये wrong है. Is enough to keep oxyhemoglobin saturation at 96%. It is wrong. Helps in releasing more oxygen to the epithelial tissue. It is also wrong. The right answer will be acts as a reserve during muscular exercise. Next question is, which one of the following is a possibility of most of us in regard of breathing by making it a conscious effort? Okay, number one can breathe out air totally without oxygen. It is wrong. One can breathe out air through Eustachian tube. Okay, Eustachian tube by closing both nose and mouth. So this is the right answer. ये कर सकते हैं हम लोग. Next, one can consciously breathe in and breathe out by moving the diaphragm alone. ये नहीं हो सकता without moving the ribs at all. The lungs can be made fully empty by forceful breathing out all air from them. ये भी नहीं हो सकता. Next is, bulk of carbon dioxide released from body tissue into the blood is present as bicarbonate in blood plasma and RBC. Okay. Free carbon dioxide in blood plasma 70% as carbaminohemoglobin, 30% as bicarbonate. ये गलत है. कार्ब एमिनो हीमोग्लोबिन इन आरबीसीज, ये भी गलत है, राइट. सो बल्क, सो ये बहुत ही कॉमन क्वेश्चन है कि कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड कैसे ट्रांसपोर्ट होता है, मेनली एज बाइकार्बोनेट. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, लिस्टेड बिलो 4 रेस्पिरेटरी कैपेसिटीज, अगेन रेस्पिरेटरी कैपेसिटी वाला क्वेश्चन, एंड 4 जम्बल रेस्पिरेटरी वॉल्यूम्स इन नॉर्मल ह्यूमन एडल्ट. सो इसको हमें मैपिंग करनी है, ठीक है. सो रेसिडुअल वॉल्यूम, vital capacity, inspiratory reserve volume and inspiratory capacity. So right option will be C, जहाँ पे inspiratory capacity will be 3500 ml and residual volume will be 1200 ml, right? So this is the right option. Next, what is true about RBCs in human? They carry about 20 to 25% of CO2 only. They transport 99.5% of oxygen. ये गलत है. They transport about 80% oxygen only and rest 20% of it's transported in dissolved state in blood plasma. ये भी गलत है. They do not carry CO2 at all. ये भी गलत है. The right option will be A. What is vital capacity of our lung? Inspiratory reserve volume plus expiratory reserve volume? No. Total lung capacity minus residual volume is our vital capacity, right? Inspiratory reserve volume plus tidal volume? No. Total lung capacity minus expiratory reserve volume, ये भी गलत है. Okay, so B will be the right answer. Number 25, the hemoglobin of a human fetus has only 2 protein subunit instead of 4. No. Has a higher affinity for oxygen than of an adult. Okay, ये होता है fetus के लिए. Has a lower affinity for oxygen than that of adult. ये गलत है. Its affinity for oxygen is the same as that of an adult. ये भी गलत है. Next, number 26, the majority of carbon dioxide produced by our body cell is transported to the lung as, again, bicarbonates. Okay, which of the following statement is incorrect? The principle of countercurrent flow facilitate efficient respiration in gills of fishes. So this is correct. The residual air in lungs slightly decrease the efficiency of respiration in mammals. The presence of non-respiratory air sacs increase the efficiency of respiration in birds. In insects, circulating body fluids serve to distribute oxygen to tissue. So this is the right option. Okay, D. Blood analysis of a patient reveals an unusually high quantity of carboxyhemoglobin content. Okay, just mind it, carboxyhemoglobin, not carbaminohemoglobin. Which of the following conclusion is most likely to be correct? The patient has been inhaling polluted air containing unusually high content of carbon disulfide, chloroform, carbon dioxide or carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide will be right option, जहाँ पे हीमोग्लोबिन के साथ कार्बन मोनोक्साइड फॉर्म करता है कार्बोक्सी हीमोग्लोबिन, राइट? सो दिस विल बी द राइट आंसर. When carbon dioxide concentration in blood increases, breathing becomes, when carbon dioxide concentration in blood increases, breathing becomes swallower and slow. There is no effect on breathing, slow and deep, faster and deeper. जब कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड कंसेंट्रेशन ज्यादा हो जाती है तब फास्टर एंड डीपर ब्रीदिंग होती है. Next question, hemoglobin is a type of respiratory pigment. Very easy question. Next is the respiratory centers which control inspiration and expiration are located in diencephalon, medulla oblongata, cerebellum, spinal cord is on medulla oblongata. The exchange of gases in alveoli of the lungs takes place by passive transport, active transport, osmosis, simple diffusion. So our answer will be D. Number 33, in lungs, the air is separated from the venous blood through transitional epithelium plus tunica externa blood vessel, no, squamous epithelium and endothelium of blood vessels. So this is the right option. In between the basement membrane is there. Not squamous epithelium, tunica media blood vessels, none of the above. So right option will be B. How the transport of oxygen and carbon dioxide by blood happens? With the help of WBC and blood serum? No. With the help of platelets and corpuscles? No. With the help of RBC and blood plasma? So this is the right option. With the help of RBCs and WBC, this is also wrong. When 1500 ml air is in the lung, it is called residual volume. So residual volume का जो range होता है वो almost 1500 ml के आसपास, 1200, 1100, 1200, 1500 ml के आसपास होता है. So the right option will be A. Not inspiratory reserve volume, vital capacity or tidal volume. Next, lungs are enclosed in peristomium, perichondrium, pericardium or pleural membrane. So pleural membrane is the right answer. At high altitude, the RBCs in the human blood will increase in number. Okay, because oxygen deficiency हो गया है, so ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा RBC create होता है ताकि वो ज़्यादा ऑक्सीजन को ले सके, कैरी कर सके. Okay. Although much carbon dioxide is carried in blood, yet blood does not become acidic. Okay, because carbon dioxide is continuously diffused through the tissue and it is not allowed to accumulate. This is not the right answer. In CO2 transport, blood buffers play an important role. So this is the right answer. Blood buffers play an important role. CO2 is absorbed by leukocytes, is again wrong. CO2 combines with water to form H2CO3, which is neutralized by NaCO3. So this is also wrong. The carbon dioxide is transported via blood to lungs, mostly in the form of bicarbonate. So ये question बहुत बार repeat हो चुका है. Next, the ventilation movement of lungs. Ventilation movement means oxygen आ रहा है, oxygen fill हो रहा है, carbon dioxide जा रहा है. So this is the ventilation movement of the lungs in mammals are governed by muscular walls of lungs, diaphragm, intercostal muscle, both B and C. So diaphragm and intercostal muscle. So the right option will be both B and C. The respiratory center which regulates respiration is located in, again the question is repeated, it is in medulla oblongata. In man and mammals, air passes from outside the lungs through, so the right option will be D, nasal cavity, pharynx, larynx, trachea, then bronchi, then bronchioles, and at the end is alveoli. Next question, carbon dioxide is transported from tissue to respiratory surface by only plasma and erythrocyte, plasma, erythrocytes or erythrocytes and leukocytes. So right option will be plasma and erythrocyte. The alveolar epithelium in the lung is non-ciliated columnar, no, non-ciliated squamous, ciliated columnar, ciliated squamous. So यहाँ पे कोई भी cilia नहीं रहता. So it is, the right option will be non-ciliated squamous. Skin is an accessory organ of respiration in humans, frog, rabbit or lizard. The right option will be frog, जहाँ पे cutaneous respiration होता है through skin, right? So this is the end of this video, जहाँ पे last 32 years में almost 45 questions आए हैं this chapter से, breathing and exchange of gases. Okay, इसके बाद हम दूसरा कुछ chapter का quick revision करेंगे and उससे जो भी NEET के previous years में questions आएंगे उसको solve करेंगे. Okay, so if you like my video, please go through the previous 3 videos regarding this chapter and also see the other videos, and please do subscribe to Epistasis and give me a thumbs up. So till then, take care and bye bye.